In today's video, we're going to be exploring the downtown Oceanside. So even though Oceanside is a city, this is the downtown proper of Oceanside. And so we went to the Oceanside Farmers Market, which by the way takes place every Thursday from I think 8 or 9 in the morning to about 2 in the afternoon. And if you're going to go here specifically for the farmers market, you're going to find out that there's quite a lot of other things that you can do here, such as shopping, eating, lots and lots of eating, and then just general sightseeing and touristy type things. So if you are here and you maybe have family or maybe you're visiting Oceanside, this is a magnificent place to visit. So another thing you want to think about whenever you're doing Oceanside Farmers Market, or maybe you're just going down to Oceanside downtown proper, is the fact that during the day they have Oceanside Farmers Market. At night, this place becomes another type of awesome beast, which is going to be what they call the Oceanside Night Market. And that's going to be where a whole bunch of other vendors, probably the same vendors from the farmers market, will come back at night and they'll start to sell things during the evening time. Some things that really impressed me about the Thursday farmers market in Oceanside is the fact that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, and I mean that in a good way. In the morning, it's like a typical farmer's market where you get produce and things like that, but it also serves as somewhat as like a miniature flea market or swap meet. So it's just really cool because if you have the time to make it out to the farmer's market from the morning time to early afternoon, you're able to, again, do kind of two types of shopping there. So another thing that shocked me as well is the fact that the farmers market is literally smack dab in the middle of the civic center. So regular business operations still continue. So if you're there to pay your parking ticket or whatever, you can go ahead, hit up that farmers market and then pay your ticket, or pay your ticket, then go to the farmers market. Be responsible. So even though the farmers market is the main star of the show on the Thursday mornings, you're still going to be able to enjoy the local establishments or businesses that are in that area. So the farmers market takes up about 1 to 3 blocks of just geographic real estate outside or nearby the civic center. And from there, you're still going to be able to get your gelatos. You're still able to get the other local establishments that would still be there if the farmers market wasn't there. Meaning that these other establishments are actually stores in that general area. There is no entrance fee to get into this farmers market, though just because of the location, the parking can be a little bit more difficult. I believe there are some parking garages, but everything is in walking distance anyways. So you can park relatively close by and then walk to the farmers market and then still enjoy your day. The Civic Center in Oceanside is very California. It has outdoor amenities and there's nice fountains, and again, pair that with the beautiful weather and then the farmers market down the street. I don't think you can really go wrong. So naturally you can assume that there is a website that the farmers market is going to allow you to peruse. You are able to go to that website, which I posted below, and you could go ahead and go there and just answer some of the questions that you may have. But ultimately, it's pretty self-explanatory. You get to the farmers market, make sure you have your bags because you will be shopping, you will be eating, you will be enjoying your time. Another thing about the vendors at the farmers market is the fact that most of them accept some type of e-transaction, meaning most of them are accepting Cash App, Venmo, maybe they're accepting Bitcoin. I didn't really ask about that Bitcoin portion, but who knows, maybe. But good old cold-hearted cash is always going to be the winner at these farmers market type situations. So the farmers market was only step 1 of our Thursday adventure. As I mentioned earlier, the farmers market is pretty much the daytime version of what they have for the sunset market or the night market. So that's going to be part 2 for the Oceanside community to partake in. So you could go to, again, to that farmers market in the morning, and then at 5 p.m. on Thursday, you can kind of just flip-flop and go to the sunset market or the night market, which is pretty much the same thing. But the farmer's market is more about fresh foods. Not to say that there aren't going to be cooked foods, but the farmer's market focuses more on the produce, the more fresh foods, the things that you cook yourself. Whereas the sunset market or the night market is going to be more so focused on foods that are already cooked, like pastries and just different cultural foods. One of the things about the sunset market, the farmer's market, and just Oceanside proper that I love about the area is the fact that everything's within walking distance. Within the main road there, you have local shops and establishments where you're able to do touristy type things. There's a Regal Cinemas there. There's just a whole bunch of other things that you could do there. So if you're going there, you should know that there's just plenty of things to do just within about a few square blocks. All right, we're almost there. Take a look at this view. So if you are visiting the Oceanside waterfronts, you actually get a chance to see the Top Gun house. Yeah, that's right, the Top Gun house, as in from like the movie with Tom Cruise. Unfortunately, Tom Cruise isn't here in this house right now. However, now it's, I think, some type of pie shop, which you're able to go inside and then go ahead and buy some pies. All right, so Tom Cruise isn't here, but look what is here. His iconic bike that he used in the movie to race the jets. So there's this little plaque here, I'm gonna read it for you all. It says that the Kawasaki Ninja ZX900 is an exact replica of the motorcycle made famous in the movie Top Gun. So, I guess I just lied to you. So this is not the actual motorcycle. However, it's a good replica. And then you can actually get on this motorcycle. I am gonna try out one of these pies today because why not? I didn't get a pie from the Top Gun house, but I did get a Rice Krispie treat, and I'm hoping that it's going to be as top as the Top Gun movie is. Yeah, that was super cheesy. So one of the main attractions of Oceanside is the Oceanside Pier. So the Oceanside Pier was established way back in the 19-somethings, and it has had quite a lot of history. There have been multiple situations where the pier had to be rebuilt and then closed down and then rebuilt and then just thing after thing, something after another. And the pier, as of 2024, it's still standing. So that's where we're gonna be going next. So the Oceanside Pier, I'm going to categorize it into three major sections. We have the beginning of the pier, which is closest to shore, and that's going to be the more picturesque area. There are even like cell phone areas where you could plant your cell phone there and it takes the quote unquote best shot for that particular geography. And then there's the middle section of the pier where there are going to be benches, and then there's going to be what they call as the brine box, which is a bait shop as well as some restrooms and some other things. And then you have the last section of the pier, the 3/4 to the end of the pier. So 3/4 into the pier, you're actually going to be able to see more fishermen because you're getting pretty deep into the pier, into the water that is. So the restaurant at the very end of the pier is actually gone. It did burn down as of 2024. And so the city of Oceanside is working to rebuild that restaurant. Right after the restaurant caught on fire, the pier was closed for a period of time. However, as of, again, September 2024, the city is working to rebuild that restaurant or that end of the pier so that way they can establish a new restaurant or some other type of business at the end of that pier. Some things to be considered about while you are on this pier is just be respectful. There's people on dates there. There are people walking around enjoying the view. There are babies. There are people fishing. And again, just kind of mind your own business unless you're trying to help someone take a picture, or maybe you're helping someone with a fish. I don't know the situation, but the name of the game is always going to be respectful. So even though the end of the pier did have a fire earlier this year, it did not affect just the general dexterity of the pier. When you enter the pier, you don't even know that you're on a pier because of the fact that it feels like you're walking on regular solid ground. So even when there is a lot of waves, or even if it's windy, you shouldn't be scared because it's just really well built. We are about to step foot onto the Oceanside Pier, and if you're not familiar with the area, the pier actually had a fire not too long ago. At the end of the pier before, there was a restaurant, I believe, and then I think a few months ago in 2024, probably the second quarter of 2024, they actually had a fire, and so the pier is still active. You are still able to get onto it and fish and things like that. However, if you're looking to have a bite to eat at one of the restaurants over there, you will have to probably bring your own snack or maybe find a restaurant nearby, which you won't really have an issue finding a restaurant nearby. All right, so here on the Oceanside Pier, it is going to be windy. There are going to be birds. There's going to be some water spray from the waves breaking underneath you, but ultimately, it's just fantastic. It's beautiful weather, great people, and just, I mean, look at the views. On a day when there's a lot of surf, you might get a lot of surfers, and you might be able to just watch them from the pier while they catch some wicked waves. But ultimately, regardless if you see surfers or if you see the waters breaking, or maybe you just kind of see the beach and just the people and the birds and all that stuff, it's just fantastic. If you are about halfway through the Oceanside Pier, you're going to see little areas where you can go ahead and sit down and just enjoy the view. And it's going to be looking like this. So you have a bench over there, and it's going to be looking over the Oceanside Beach or the San Diego Beach. And it's really cool because of the fact that, I mean, for those people who are maybe having some hard time walking, or maybe you just want to kind of just sit and relax, they thought about it. So if you get to, I would say, about 3/4 the way of the Oceanside Pier, you're then going to see the brine box and some other rules, so check it out. We have a bait shop over there with some souvenirs and paraphernalia. So as you can assume, the deeper you are on the pier, the more likely you're able to get fish. So if you get past the brine box section, which you'll see over there, you're actually going to see more fishermen, because obviously the fishermen are going to want deeper waters for potentially bigger fish. And so it becomes a little bit less touristy as you get deeper or further out on the pier, and then more angler style. You still have places to sit down, like benches and restrooms and things like that. And if at the very end the area isn't restricted because of the fire, you're then able to get all the way down and again just look at the views of the amazing Pacific Ocean. All right, so we've made it to the end of the Oceanside Pier, and because of the fire, the very end of the Oceanside Pier is closed. You can actually see it's fenced off here, and they are going to leave a sign saying that they are actively working on returning the pier to its former glory. So you get pretty far out onto the pier, but again, you don't get to go all the way at the end. All the way down there where you beyond the fencing, you could see that's where the restaurant used to be. I actually am not sure what restaurant used to be over there. If you do know what type of restaurant was at the end of the Oceanside Pier, leave a comment below, because honestly, I really don't know. I've never been. Anyways, so that's the Oceanside Pier. If you are here on a Thursday, again, you might be able to do like a morning farmer's market. And then if you're here at night, you also might be able to enjoy the night market here, just right outside the pier. So the overall roots of this channel is to help you be prepared before you do something. And in today's video is pretty much exploring some parts of Oceanside. I want to fully disclose that I barely scratched the surface of exploring Oceanside. I really didn't even explore all of Oceanside proper because of the fact that my family and I were on a mission to go see the pier and go see the farmer's market. And so I want to say that if you are visiting Oceanside, make sure you have a list of things to do. I'm going to post a website down below that's going to help you plan your visits to Oceanside, so that way you are able to get those key staples. And in this channel of Know Before You Go, the 5 things I recommend that you know before you go is going to be: make sure you have money, because just overall California is going to be a little bit more expensive, where a boba drink might be costing you $5 in Virginia, it's going to cost you $7, almost $8 in Oceanside. That's the first one. The second one is going to be knowing that there's just going to be traffic. Even though this is not like a super saturated and dense area of San Diego or Oceanside, there was still a lot of traffic. So you may not be bumper to bumper, there may not be gridlock, but just be wary of the fact that there are going to be a lot of moving cars around, just for safety purposes for your animals or maybe your kiddos. So number 3 is going to be making sure you're dressing for the occasion. So the general consensus for the temperature in Oceanside and San Diego is about 70 degrees year round, which is just glorious. However, you do want to make sure that you're wearing sunscreen, because you will get sunburned by those sun rays just beating on you. But then you may also get cold if you're inside the shade so much. So again, knowing the balance between that is really going to help you enjoy your stay here in Oceanside. Number 4 is going to be the diversity. There's pretty much something for everyone in Oceanside. If you are white, black, Filipino, Japanese, whatever your culture is, whatever your ethnicity is, you're going to find your culture there in Oceanside. It's just really wonderful. And most of the people there, I would say actually all of the people there, are really authentically friendly, and they really just want to chit chat with you and get to know you. And number 5, which I'm not quite sure why I put this at the very bottom of my top 5 for Oceanside, is that you should just enjoy yourself. The weather is beautiful, the beaches are beautiful, the shopping is great, the food is great. I mean, everything about it is just great. So make sure you're safe about it, enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and then just live life. So if you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, and then stay tuned for the next video, because the next video I'm going to be discussing SeaWorld. So if you're interested in watching SeaWorld and then Know Before You Go, I'll see you then. So, just like my last video, if you haven't watched it, I discussed how to use the coaster in San Diego, and in that video I discussed how we have a special guest who is my cat Emmy, and she's still in this video because she's actually right here, and she just wants to say hello. So if you like this video, if you like my cat, then leave a like and subscribe.